and support survivors of violence and child abuse. SafeSpace is confidential, safe, and designed to help you heal. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ amòfin Olúmídé Káyọ̀dé Ọmọṣẹ́ ní gbogbo ìrọ̀lẹ́ ọjọ́ Thursday ní agogo 6 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú lórí ètò SafeSpace. Lórí ètò SafeSpace, gbígbọ́ ẹ̀dùn ọkàn yín jẹ wá lógún. Àṣírí yín bò lọ́wọ́ wa. Ìrìn àjò sí ìborí ìlàkàkà yín á bẹ̀rẹ̀. Your safe space to tell your story.
And welcome to Safe Space on Young Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. It's another Thursday to learn, unlearn, and relearn on Safe Space, where we get to share real life issues, life experiences about gender violence, abuse, and how we can all come out safe from everything that is happening around us. When you see signs, what to see, signs to see in your partner, and how to flee from things that would eventually harm you in future as regards gender violence and abuse. And of course, I'm not going to be doing this today alone. I'm here with Barrister Olumi Omoshebi, and my name is Finfuluwa Kirami. It promises to be an amazing conversation this evening. So stay tuned, get your notes packed ready, and get ready to learn. Good evening, Barrister.
Good evening, Fee. Awesome to hear from you again.
Awesome to hear from you. Congratulations on your book launch.
Oh, thank you very much. We thank God for the event. And also, I would want to say good evening to all our listeners out there. Awesome to be here again. We do not take you for granted. So I will just dive straight into our discussion for today. I want to be able to give us some time to call, so I want to go pretty quickly. So we have been talking about character traits to avoid while considering a choice for a spouse. Now, what informed this topic? Over the years, about 23 years to be exact, we have been studying on the causes of failed marriages. The statistics are really heavy in Nigeria. That is, 1 in every 4 marriages would end in a separation or divorce by the second anniversary. 1 in every 3 women will suffer domestic violence or abuse in the first year of their marriage, and 1 in every 7 or 8 men will also suffer domestic violence or abuse in the first year of their marriage. Now, 87% of the cases of separations, domestic violence, and abuse, divorces are from Christians in marriage. And we have been going over what exactly are the causes of failed marriages. Over the past 2 decades, we have seen that marriages, the success of a marriage is not determined by tribe. That is, not because we are both Igbos, it will work out, or we come from the same village, it will work out. We have also found that religion plays a little factor, is not even involved in the dynamics of success in marriage. We think because you're a Christian and you marry a Christian, or because you're a Muslim and you marry a Muslim, then the marriage will succeed. No, we have found that marriage and its success depends totally on the character of the person that you married. Marriage is all about character. So you don't marry religion, you don't marry tribe or a location, you marry character. It is the character of the person that you will be spending the rest of your life with. And then in our research, we found that there are 7 character traits. We had done the case study through cases made available to us by the registry in Lagos State, finding that for the past 2 decades, people who suffer domestic violence or abuse, cases of separations and divorces, are usually from people who marry someone that has one or a combination of these character traits. Number one is proud or pride, when you marry a proud person. Number two, when you marry a hot tempered person. Number three, when you marry a liar. Number four, when you marry a jobless or lazy person. Number five, when you marry a stingy person. Number six, when you marry a malicious person. Number seven, a jealous person. I think we have gone through the list. Finny, I think we have gone through the list, don't you think?
Yes, we have. We definitely have.
We have done
The list and
the 7.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
So now we are moving away from character traits to avoid and onto a particular an issue that has been plaguing our phone lines. Now, for the better part of 2025,
Yes.
it has been also from 2023, 22, 24, but now 2025, it's getting more ridiculous, where women keep calling that Barrister Olumide, want you to I have 3 children and the man is not taking responsibility. Please, I want you to help me make the man take responsibility. That is to start paying school fees, start dropping money for monthly upkeep and whatever it is that may arise. And then you also have people who are separated, people who have left the marriage because of domestic violence or abuse, or the marriage has become toxic, so the wife took the children and left. And now reaching out saying, please, Barrister Olumide, we're looking for, please, you need to make him take responsibility for the children. Also, when you go to Lagos State, the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency or the Ministry of Women Affairs, it is full of women petitioning the state that they need to help them make their former husbands pay child support. This issue is one of the most frustrating in Nigeria. First of all, in developed countries that is beyond Nigeria, you will find out the issue of spousal or child support can send a man to prison.
Yes, it does.
In Nigeria, not so. You can decide to gather the money, the little money you have, to hire a lawyer and take him to family court for child support. And then he goes to court and says, well, his salary is 70,000. And he will eat, he will do, he will transport himself, he will kill it. So at the end of the day, he's 1,000, and 10,000 is what he can spare for 3 children
in a month.
And the magistrate will be like, how can you spare 10,000? If you people were still together, would you have say, I know how to do it? At least, all of them will be eating from the same pot. But now, they are living separately. He has to do this, he has to do that. And at times you now find out that a ridiculous amount, especially when some men, they go and dress down, say they can't afford it. Oh, they borrowed money and they are still paying back the money they did. So their salary amounts to nothing but like 15,000 naira. I personally was involved in a case where a man was paying 15,000 naira per month for 4 children. And then the 3rd month, he reduced it to 5,000. So will the woman now come again to take a lawyer and go back to court with the money that she doesn't have? Or will she now start going around various government parastatals, Office of the Public Defender? You go to different Ministry of Women Affairs. Please, you see the stress that you will go through going around, and at the end of the day, you will come out with nothing. So I tell people, don't come to me with that kind of case. Now, how does this happen? That someone, let us start with those that marry irresponsible men. You marry a man, and during delivery, you are the one that even paid the maternity. He wasn't responsible for it. You had to pay almost 70% or 80%. You had to call his family members, all of them, to shout on him, and then he turns up and pays the balance. And then you are discharged. You have a child. At the end of the day, you are the one doing majority of the feeding. You are doing majority of everything. Children's clothes, the child's clothes and everything. Seeing the trouble you went through with that child, 2 years later, you now dare to give birth to another child for a man who is not taking care of the first child. And it will be, my family was saying, is it just one child you will give birth to? You now give birth again for a man who was not taking care of the first child, who did not pay the hospital bill of the first child. You give him a second child. And then your travails now come again, raised to the power of 2. Taking care of a child at home, you are pregnant for another child, and you will be the one to do your antenatal yourself. After shouting, reporting him, fighting, arguing, you already know that this child will be on your head because the person you gave birth to is not responsible. Then you give birth, and you now give birth to twins. How do you keep reproducing for someone who cannot even take care of the first child? Now, the first child and your experience with the first child should determine if you will give that man a second child. It is just simple. That is for those who would marry irresponsible men. First of all, some marry men who are jobless, marry men with strange habits who would rather hang out, drink, have some habits that they sponsor with their money, or who does not see the home front as something to invest in. This child will go to school. This child would eat. This child will wear clothes. This child will have to go to the hospital for inoculations. Children, you have to get this vaccination. You have to, every fever, you have to buy this drug. And you are carrying it on your head, and you have the audacity to get pregnant again.
We don't protect ourselves.
So the first problem I would tell is that women often are the source of their own problems. That is for those who marry irresponsible men. I would tell you, when a man decides to marry you, taking you out of your father's house, where you are eating and drinking, where at least you are not suffering, and decides to marry you, taking you out of that house, and does not have a proper house to even take you into, or cannot even feed you. And then you decide to give birth to someone who you are not even eating well. You are bringing another customer into the house by getting pregnant. Let us leave that. Secondly, are those who marry abusive men. It is fantastic to see that while dating, some people had already started seeing the violent tendencies of their spouse to be. A lot of women already knew that their spouse, their husband, was hot-tempered and had the probability for domestic violence before they married him. Why? Because right from the time they were dating, he was abusive. Those people would abuse you, then come back to apologize. They will abuse you, then they will come back to apologize. Some people have been slapped before they decided to say, I do. They say he came back, he apologized. He was really sorry. And then you go ahead to marry someone. The population of Nigeria, it is amazing that Nigeria has the highest population of black people in the world. No other country. And some people believe that they have no choice, that it must be this person. No matter how, then you have those league of advisors, those foolish people that you listen to, that will tell you that don't worry, he will change. There was a woman last week that said she was told that when a man has a child, their character will change. So she just said, okay, all these things, she will take it because she knows when they marry and then she gives birth, his character will change. And I've been wondering how many children are in this world that are going through child trafficking, child abuse, and the character of their fathers is even worse. Some people, the abuse started after pregnancy, after the birth of a child. You say, okay, this man has been, I've been a victim of domestic violence. I've been married for 10 years. You now say, okay, when did the abuse start? Last year, the statistic was 64% said immediately after the birth of the first child. So the birth of the first child even made his character. And I don't get these abusers, this advice from people who are so illiterate, people who have no experience, no knowledge, but to be flouting religion and tradition to give an advice that is totally unfounded. So with the beating, they say, go ahead, he will change, he will change. Okay, it's like dating a wild animal. The nature of a hot-tempered man is conflict. The nature of a hot-tempered man is conflict. It is conflict. That is why you will find Proverbs 21:19 says, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than in the house with a nagging and contentious wife. Which nagging is physical, verbal abuse. Contention is physical. When you say he's contentious, that is always ready for a fight, physical fight. Right. The Bible tells you to run away into the wilderness. That is, let that place have no address where you are running to. But you have already seen this before marriage, and then you decide to marry, and then you get the beating of your life. You give birth to the first child. You see that, his character has not changed. Maybe I should give him a second child. Maybe the second child will do the trick. You get pregnant again for the second child, and the beating has not changed. You now say, let me give him a third child. Maybe this third one will. Ladies and gentlemen, once abuse starts, reproduction must stop. The first child and the treatment thereafter must determine whether you will give birth to another child in that house. Where you see domestic violence, you leave. Now, pregnancy is an age-long tool that abusers use to hold down their victims. Abusive men are rapid reproducers because they know the more the number of children, the harder it will be for you to leave the marriage. So immediately as you are breastfeeding, you're already pregnant again. Before you can decide to leave, you're already. So where would the pregnant woman go? Pregnancy has always been a tool for abusers, both male and female. Because abusers here is not just the man, you also have female abusers. At least this year, we know of almost 38 women who have killed their husbands in a bout of domestic violence. We have lost almost 400 women to domestic violence already this year. Last year was even terrible, was worse. This year started on, hey God, okay, worse, bad, worse, worst. This year is worst because we are just improving. You know, when the new model is better than the old model. Last year was old model abuse. This year is new one model abuse. combining the sophistication of previous years to abuse in a fresh edition, the new revised edition of abuse. So when after you have now been battered, beaten and everything, and then you now decide after 3 or 4 children to leave, you are now coming to say, please make him pay child support. How? You take somebody that will intentionally afflict you, make sure that you suffer for living. So he will not pay. He will tell you, look at the man. He will say, I didn't tell her to leave. She decided to leave. So that means she has money to
blackmail.
Yes, she has money to spend. As long as she's out, let her take care of the children. And then you will be carrying 4 children up and down because you don't have the money. But you could be reproducing in abuse. I don't know where. If you see this religion that will tell you that you should keep praying and fasting for a wolf to become a sheep. You identify a wolf as a wolf. Come again, Fee.
I said this is why a lot of women do not amount to so much after marriage, because you already have 4 children in your possession. How do you want to survive and now become something for yourself? So they just lost their sense of purpose. They lost their passion for anything. So they don't eventually become anything tangible at the end of the day. They spend all their life and every resource they get taking care of the children, and the husband is somewhere, maybe
married to another woman.
Yes, they will be married to another woman, taking care of another set of children, and the cycle just continues like that. And you wonder, why do women do this?
I think, first of all, is because women are raised by religion and tradition. 2, there has been no actual training for women right from youth. A lot of women also come from abusive homes, toxic homes. So when they see abuse, it is something that they are used to, and they believe, okay, it is just,
that's how it should be.
They would just pray. If there was a very long time ago, a lady told me that she wasn't ready for marriage. So about some years after I met her, and she was not like, na slap, I don't ready. When she said na slap, I don't ready, I said, what do you mean by na slap? She said, when the man gets angry, this, that. Well, anyway, now she's ready. She's more mature to receive slaps. Because that's how she grew up. The father was always beating the mother. And this is the model of marriage that she saw. Those that, you see, once abuse starts, reproduction must stop. Why? Because at the end of the day, you will be the one to take. If you imagine you left with 1 child, isn't that better than living with 4 children? And this is what happens to women. They will start now begging for money for everybody. Everybody. So Uncle Sule, who says, okay, we'll give you 10,000, 15,000. The 3rd time we'll tell you, okay, you call him the Uncle Sule, the children's school fees, and say, okay, come and meet me at room 205, Moonshine Hotel. And you will say, Shebe, and he said, that's where I am. You now come, and he will tell you, I will give you, but nothing goes for nothing. I will be helping you, but you have to open the legs. There has to be something in me for me as well. And she will get angry that, is it because I asked you for money that you now want to? And then she will just angrily go out. But in 2 days, when she has seen the suffering, she has gone to and fro and not met anyone, and she will now call Uncle Sule. Uncle Sule, Emma Binu Ijeta, please don't be angry. I was under a lot of pressure. Uncle Sule will say, no problem. We say, Sherry Wambe, are you still in the room? Should I come? And that is what accounts for single women, single mothers, divorcees, and going to men and giving sexual favors because they don't have any choice. Men, those that are even hardworking men, will keep trying to. And that is what you will reduce yourself to, because after going to Ministry of Women Affairs, after going to this, after you won't even have transport money again. because the little money you have to take care of the 3 children you are carrying about, please, meeting one lawyer, please help me. I want my dear father to take responsibility of what? Was he responsible from the get-go, from the beginning? So watch it. When you are giving birth, first child, second child, and you know, some people, don't worry. They say that what you are going to train a child with, the child will bring from heaven. You should come and look at the car park here. Come and look at the car park here. See children running up and down car parks trying to carry load. Did they forget what their parents will use to train them in heaven? Nigeria had the highest, I think it was a UNICEF study in 2017 or 2018. Nigeria had the highest number in sub-Saharan Africa of trafficked children and child marriages. You have 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds getting pregnant. Why? Because they come from irresponsible parenting. And you, the woman, saying yes to someone you already know. Some of us don't even know. You know, I saw a video. I will share the video with you. They just went to church and the pastor said, will you marry this woman? You don't know who he is. You don't know who she is. And that's how they just sealed it. The pastor told the man that I will say yes for you. Don't even worry. She's your wife. You don't know whether he is an armed robber. You don't know whether she is a convict. You don't know no history. And then you marry. In marriage, you now start discovering things that if you had known before, you would not have married. If I had known you were like this, I wouldn't have married you. So why didn't you know she was like this? Why didn't you know he was like this? Because what? My pastor said, marry him.
I mean, you had a choice, and that's the choice. You decided that that's what you wanted for yourself, and that's your choice to make. Because at the end of the day, even if your pastor tells you to marry this person, you should always know that you are going to be the one in the marriage. It's not the pastor, it's not your parents, it's not your mom, not your... It is you that will face the consequence of whatever is happening there. So I don't know why people still, in this century, still decide that they want to go into a death trap, open death trap in broad daylight.
They do that, and then for men also, men that marry abusive women, and the women, you would know that abusive women tend to always, especially jealous women, tend to always use sex as a tool for sealing the marriage. Because the more the number of children she has for you, the less likely you would leave her. That is their thought. So the man who is coping with the verbal assault, the abuse, and the negative way the wife is going about things at night, before you know it, she's already tried to get pregnant, making you you are not really interested in the sex because you are not happy. However, she keeps at it. Is pregnant for 1, pregnant for 2, pregnant for 3. And after that, she now knows he's going nowhere. 3, you know, this has always been the tool for abusers, children, knowing that let her go. Who will take care of the children? They use the children as what? An anchor. And that is what they used to... Abusive people used to stay in there and say, even if you guys are not compatible, just because of the children, stay together. We just, about 2 weeks ago, we lost someone again to her marriage. And I don't know when the Nigerian parent, when the Nigerian clergy would know that Jesus came to die for life. Marriage is not more important than life. Where you keep saying, is it only my child that... no, go back also. They will say, all our children. It's only my own that came back to the father's house, that the marriage is not working. What do you want me to say in my town group? You want me to say in church, my daughter is back home. My son is back home. Their lives are more important than the institution of marriage, because there is no marriage in heaven. Marriage is not even a consideration for gifts. There is
it's not.
there is no political position that comes with marriage. There is no status that comes with marriage except a change of name to Mrs. That is all. It doesn't come with a political or social position. It does not come with a degree. It does not come with financial benefits that the government will now start paying you money, or this bank will start paying you money because you are married. Marriage is responsibility. Now, the theory that the length of your days is directly proportional to your choice for a spouse. Now, people don't really live long that remain in abuse. You find that most of them develop all kinds of diseases that are hidden in the body. You will find someone looking older, the hair is white. You will find people with high blood pressure, irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, depression, because of the choice of the spouse that they chose to marry. And then, oh boy, let us now talk about the children that they are raising. Now, conclusive research shows that men that beat their wives are men who grew up watching their mothers being beaten by their father, an intimate partner, or a family member. So that is how abuse is transfused and transmitted from generation to generation. Why? You now raise the children in an abusive home. The children are a product of their environment. You have made them used to violence, you have made them used to cursing, to abuse. Then they marry and then they go and spread the gospel that you taught them. So all your suffering, all your prayers, your being a virtuous person, remaining in it. There's a difference between long suffering and to suffer long. People think it is the same thing. You are there being battered, beaten, and bruised. I met a woman, she said, my teeth was complete before marriage. Now she's wearing dentures because of, you have people with things that they were not, but they still choose to remain. And after, when the thing now becomes a lady now who came to us, totally blinded, she's now blind because of the punch of the husband. She's totally blind, busted a cornea or something, a blood vessel that was going to the eye. She's totally blind now. And the man still left the children and went. He's in Canada now. She's blind with 2 children. I walked into the marriage complete. I came out half.
The man was not arrested.
Arrested by who? Arrested by what? That they would tell them, a lot of we don't want case, so we don't want case. We just, that is the mentality. They would not report. Those that report, their family members will come and withdraw. Their church will say no. The Bible says you shouldn't take your matters to the court, that you should settle, and that is how people end up killing and maiming one after the other. I remember Mrs. Funke Hosanna, who we had tried to get out of an abusive marriage. And it was the following week that we were, the money for the new accommodation was complete for her. Her husband always took her salary and would transfer to his account. So that Saturday morning, I don't know what happened. The husband just decided to check her, and she, knowing that the money had entered, now refused to give him the phone to check the account balance. That is where Wahala started, and he strangled her using a rope, a barbed wire or something. He tied her, and it collapsed her trachea or something, and she died. People heard, the neighbors heard the shouting. The man tried to smuggle the corpse out. The neighbors gathered around the women. It was the police that saved him. They would have killed him that morning. He was or is an elder of the church, and after being arrested, upon investigation, they found out that Elder Hosanna, that is his name, This was the third wife. The first wife died, the second wife ran away, the third wife is dead. So if they had arrested him the first time, would there have been another loss of life?
No.
This is how we recycle abusers, because we allow them on our children, on our sons, on our daughters. Why? Because some ill-advised illiterate, some people who do not know anything but carry tradition. They keep telling you, how do they say it? Tabasopa rireri and deruba oloro. They keep saying all kinds of proverbs to cover abuse. Whereas the law makes domestic violence and abuse a crime, punishable with up to 2 years in prison. And the same Bible tells you to obey the laws of the land. How would you even see your child being battered, beaten, and bruised, being unhappy, having depression, having all kinds of injuries, and you are okay to leave that child of yours in that environment? You should know you don't have a parent. When you go and they tell you to go back, you know that these are not your parents. There's a difference between parent and custodian. Now, for you women who call saying, oh, please help me make him pay, take care of his responsibilities, these are basically the two major ways. You keep reproducing in abuse and reproducing for irresponsible men. Who do you think will now help you come and take the responsibility? Secondly, over 40% of cases of domestic violence you find are people who got married because of pregnancy. The issue there now is, without this pregnancy, would you have still married this man? You will find out that a lot of them will say no. Without this pregnancy, would you have still married this woman? You will find that a lot of men will say no. But societies, you have to marry. Why did you sleep with her if you could not marry her? And I ask them, is it the first woman you slept with that you married yourself? They will keep quiet. So why do you say if you want to sleep with her, or what, because you slept with him, you didn't want to marry him, why did you sleep? Please don't connect biology with responsibility. This same pregnancy is what they will lead to. And they married, not that they were in love, but it was marriage. They say, the church, you have to do it so that they will force them to marry. Even the families will come together to contribute money to pay for the marriage. In fact, some will, they will say, don't worry about bride price, just marry her. You say, no, we don't collect bride price when the person, it's because they just want you to quickly marry, because society has the fact that pregnant. But no, that is not so, because a greater proportion of people that marry because of pregnancy have failed marriages. You just led them into a failed marriage. Let them give birth to the child. Family, yours is for support. Ask, would you forget this child? Would you, is that the man you want to marry? Is that the woman you want to marry? They will tell you no. Some people was just a one-night stand.
Yes.
Some people were even drunk. Some women were even raped. They were raped because they didn't consent to the sex. They went to a party, somebody drugged it, and they said, and somebody raped them. And then you force her to marry her rapist. And when that child is born, next thing they'll be pushing people who ordinarily would not have married. You say, is it only this child? You force them again that know that they don't want, you are lying down next to this woman in the morning and you are looking at the woman and you're saying, if not for this pregnancy, I would never have married this woman. And the same thing, the woman looking at the man saying, if not for this pregnancy, I would never have married. Then the family comes, is it just one child? You have to give us another child. Making them, oh God, when you're talking about insult upon injury, in a marriage that already is not working. Then after, when the man has grown bolder and older, that he can now say no because he was younger, when you people force him, he now starts misbehaving. There's the woman that he is with, and then outside there's a woman that he loves. So the man is,
Then you start cheating.
of course, and the woman also, knowing she felt no love in the first place, or she's just trying to love. The children now become what is cementing them together, not because they have individual affection. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't call me telling me that I want the man to take care of the responsibility. What was your responsibility when you were giving birth to a second child for a man who could not take care of the first child? Or you are giving birth again for a man who had been beating you right from the birth of the first child. You give him a second child, you think it will last forever, his character will change, just give him children. Where, in what way? You can only tell that to illiterates, people who do not have any form of enlightenment and education. Where you think that the birth of a child will change the character of a man or a woman. Let me stop here and open the phone lines.
Wow, such a I really don't know what to say, because it's sad that this happens every single time and it will still continue to happen regardless of the conversations that we have. Please and please don't put yourself in this kind of position as a woman. Please don't. If you'd like to join the conversation this evening and maybe you have questions for Barrister, maybe you're confused about something relating to the topic of the day and you'd like to ask questions, drop your 2 cents about the conversation on 07000 917 You can also call 09155 917 This is the best time to ask your questions, to drop your contributions on the topic for today. Many women suffer this on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, and we keep losing precious lives to this. I don't even know what to call it. We just keep losing people every single day, and this can be avoided. It is something that can be avoided.
I think
if
there's somebody.
Institutions, if parents.
Fee is on fire today. Fee, good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, good
welcome.
evening.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Dr. Noel Olawiko. I'm calling you I'm on Longbridge rather. Just trying to drive home.
You're welcome.
All right, go ahead,
so
sir.
I want to first of all say to the speaker, thank you for a job well done. It's so beautiful that it's a man that's speaking for women like this. I could feel from your voice someone who wants to see a better society, someone who wants to see our women better treated. Okay, but you have made a point that I just want to contribute to. You talked about the root of abuse from the men, which has to do with what most of them have seen their father, did. But here is my perspective to that. I once heard a story about a father that has 2 sons. One of the sons turned out well in life. The other son did not turn out well in life. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Good. So the father was a drunkard. He was into all kinds of vices and he died. And then someone interviewed the both sons. We have observed that your father was not too good a man, but you turned out well. What happened? And the guy said, I saw what my father did, and I knew that if I wanted a better life, I have to live and make better choices. So I did opposite most of the things my father did, and I'm a success today. So they asked the second child, come on, I mean, you turned out to be like your dad. What happened? And the guy said, because I saw my father live like this, and I couldn't help it. I was forced to live like that. Meaning that I could see something bad and so make a choice that I want to change. I think sometimes, even though most men saw what
You have just 10
while
seconds
growing
left,
up.
sir. You have 10 seconds left to make
Okay,
go. Yeah.
so even though you saw something that's not that good, I think we should do better. Men should do better. That's just my contribution. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have read that story. Unfortunately, we have 3, 4 children. You have already exposed all to the trauma of abuse. And then not all are the same. The duty of a father
I
is to
think.
train
Mm,
a child. You cannot
yes.
when you check the father of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, he said, "Give me the boy, and I will show you the man."
The man.
This is where it starts. We are not saying everybody who grew up in an abusive home will become abusive, but you have just increased the propensity. At least 1, 2 of 3 would have those abusive tendencies because of how they have grown. Let me open the phone line to.
The number one more time is 07000 If you have questions this evening for Barrister, you have contributions to whatever to what we're talking about today. You have hello, good evening.
Hi, Finn. Good evening.
Good evening, Mrs. Oboli. You're welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm good. Barrister,
You're
good evening,
welcome.
sir. Kushelu, God bless you.
Good evening, Madam Oboli. Thanks
So,
for calling.
yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Over the years, Barrister, it's a known fact that narcissists and abusers continually exploit their victims more when they have more children, like you rightly cited. And the response these victims have to cushion this effect is that they are suffering this anomaly because of their children. Truth is, most times, it's not because of these children that these victims are enduring this abuse, but because of societal stigmatization and the title missive. And if you don't live with your body and sanity intact, you will end up living in a body bag. That has always been Barrister's clamor. Period. On child support, Barrister, is there no way that our laws can be strengthened to prosecute child support defaulters in these clients, like in the Western world? Is the NBA by any means pushing for these reforms, or should we continually remain in status quo? When will our law grow? When will the rule of law be transformed in this country? Good evening, Ekushelu. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Oboli. Unfortunately, it is the job of the lawmakers, the House of Reps. There are House of Reps in every state of the Federation, and we have a federal House of Reps and the Senate. However, in Nigeria, they are more bothered about other things than the actual welfare of the citizens. Our laws ought to have been upgraded to view that the family is the center of civilization of any community, not to talk of a nation, but they just gloss past it, and not knowing that we are raising a generation of damaged and abused children. Unfortunately or fortunately for them, you will find that their children would also marry from our children. And then the cycle continues. But when that chance is lost, when they were there, I looked at one of them talking and I asked him, when you were there, what did you move? What motion did you move? Let's move ahead.
Oh, it's God will help us. It is well. It is well. If my advice is just that, if you're a woman listening right now, please don't put yourself in this situation to the extent where you now start to find help or solution, looking for lawyers to help you. Don't get yourself into this situation, please. As much as you can, when you see the signs, run.
The first child.
One more time. Okay.
The first child should determine whether you will have another child. It's not automatic that there is a principle of child that you must just be given birth.
You're not just for childbearing. You're more than that. You're not just for childbearing.
I think there's someone on the line. Okay, we lost that.
Hello, good evening.
No, wait, I think we lost that. Okay, the back.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Rashid from Agege.
You're welcome, Mr. Rashid.
Well done, Mr. Barrister. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for calling. Go ahead,
You
sir.
see, the reason why we have poverty in this country is because of overpopulation. Like you said, people, you know, once you are earning more, you are not earning more than 100,000 a month, but you are giving back to start to 5, 7 children. Eh? Tell me, have you not destroyed the destiny of those children? Destroyed it now. So the problem of that is why it's not the government, it's the family. That is where the foundation and that is where Nigeria got it from. Giving back to children that you cannot take care of.
The government has a part to play. Look at China, where they outlawed you having more than one child. It was law that you
They
can.
will use religion. Nigeria, they will use religion.
No, it is because the government is not ready. After God is government. Do you understand? After God is government. If the government wants to do something like embezzle, they will find ways to embezzle. If the government wants this country to be okay, they will make it okay. You can't have, listen, child abuse starts from when you give birth to a child you cannot train, you cannot send to school. It is a crime under the child rights law. It is a crime. I had, an uncle like that whose driver had 3 wives. 3 wives, a driver. And he says, Allah alone, as in it is God's.
So where I come from in the north, they will not agree. That law will not work in the north.
It's because of their clerics. You see, because their clerics are not preaching their religion, they are preaching an agenda. How can so it is not a matter of you see it is not a matter of people. Government, when a government can sit down and see that we have a problem, how do we tackle this problem? So and so. It is public enlightenment. We have a national orientation agency. It is public enlightenment, making Nigeria not a religious state but a moral state. When everybody sees that this is working, let's leave the phone line. I think we have just 3 minutes more. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, we have just 3 minutes. Thank you so much for calling, sir. We have just 3 minutes to go. Will you give your phone number, Barrister, before we say goodbye, before we take the last call?
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. For those that may want to reach out to me, the number to call is 0909 3214 942. 0909 3214 942. And yes, last Saturday you heard Finn say I launched a book. Yes, the book is basically on what I had just taught. Character, why marriages are failing, and character traits to avoid. It is a very, very important book for you to have. When you read this, it reduces your probability for a failed marriage because the knowledge there you would not believe. And thank God we've been having. In fact, the book is almost finished. Right there, people are, because anyway they've listened to me, they know what to expect.
Yes, of course.
When writing a book, the facts, the figures, not about religion, not about tradition, facts and figures, why we have this problem, especially for those who are in failed marriages, who are not, you would know why. Then those who are about to decide, who are right there at the brink of trying to decide, should I, is this the one, is this not the one? Please, you need to buy the book. You can reach out to me on 0909 3214 942. They say what? Wisdom is profitable to direct.
Correct. Yes. The title of the book is
Just Before You Say I Do. That is the title of the book. Just Before You Say I Do.
So if you're getting married soon, you're married already, just get it and save yourself.
Thank you. How many minutes do I have? Somebody bought a copy of the book, a pre-order before the day we launched it. After reading it, paid for 100 books. and that I should take
Wow.
it to and go and deliver to Ondo State. He's out of the country. He's not. Said I should go and deliver to Ondo State because there is a crisis in his. I think they have a parish there, and it's just the same reaction when you're like, is this with facts, with figures, with Anyway, I think enough
Wow,
said.
100 copies. The book is that good. It is
No, the
very
knowledge, you won't just when you
Yes.
see
It's not
something,
something you see randomly
you
on
just see. So it's not in any book on the
Yes.
planet. Oh, this is from
It's not.
my
It's not.
experience. It's about 25 years now
hmm
on why marriages are failing, and then character traits to avoid. Fantastic read.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us today on Safe Space on Women Radio 91.7. If you listened attentively, I know that you must have learned one or two things today. But the takeaway is that for every woman listening, every man listening, let's try to make the world a better place. We all can coexist in peace and harmony without anybody beating anybody or anybody slapping anyone. Everybody can live in peace. So please, let's all learn to live together in harmony. And if by chance you're about to go into a relationship and you start to see red flags, it's better you opt out before you get married or before you start having children. For the sake of the next generation, let's keep the world safe. My name is Faithfulua Kirami, and I was here with Barrister. It's been a lovely conversation. Join us next week, Thursday, by 6 p.m. to 7 on Women Radio 91.7.